Namaste and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss the profound lessons that my mentees or my clients have learned through past life regression. And, what do we know about past lives? How do they, help us grow better? And even before diving into it, a very happy Makar Sankranti, Pongal, Bihu, Lori to everyone. Let's dive in. Hi, so welcome back. The main thing that one very obvious lesson that anyone would be able to understand is when you go into the past life, when when I started being regressed myself, as well as when I started regressing others, the fact that everything happens for a reason. And I'm not trying to define karma here. Everything happens for a reason. There is no coincidence, actually. Why is a person behaving like that? Or why do you behave like that? Why do you carry a certain fear? Or why do you, carry a certain dislike for someone or unexplained loving emotion for someone? They all have some reason behind them. This brings me to one of the stories that I was told by my mentor, one of my mentors, because I've learned past life from many people. So she said that in her session, it so happened that there was a man who had a lot of problems in his marital life, in the sense that he was earning quite a lot and he was working very hard, but he had a wife and a son who were like very demanding, all the time. They were not like at all satisfied with what they got. So he was leading a very unhappy life, and when he took the regression, he realized that in the immediate past life, very unfortunately, he was the cause of a man's death. He was the cause of a man's death, and the man had a wife and a son. And I'm sure you have already guessed that that wife and that son were his wife and his son in this particular lifetime. And they always kept, holding him back, responsible for everything. So in that lifetime, the curse that they gave, they developed such a huge karma with this man that they literally came into his family in this lifetime. So the fact that, at this point of time, let me stop here and give you a lesson which is like very easy to understand, maybe difficult to practice. It becomes, you know, practicable when you undergo meditation, vipassana, and stuff like that. Try not to judge. Okay. What do we say by judging? Judging a value as good or bad. So maybe if I think of this color, I think it's a brilliant color, but maybe some people do not like it. So the fact that if someone says, "Oh my God, I love pink," or someone says, "I hate pink," now these are extreme emotions. Instead of saying it's a okay color, okay, oh that's a color, kind of a thing. This is called detachment or unattachment. Okay, and this is what needs to be practiced if you really want to walk the path towards spiritual awakening and ascension, and finally enlightenment. So I've literally seen across my sessions and across my own regressed sessions wherein I went back to the past life. Whenever you hate someone very badly, you literally become that person, or you literally, entangle with that person in the next lifetime as well. Everything happens for a reason. And the fact that, so there was one of my clients, she said that, I don't know, there's some kind of um, I always need to, there's something that happens that I'm not able to tell people. I always have this sense of secrecy. And she said it's there in the astrological chart. So, on the path of becoming a practicing astrologer in a few months, I told her that, see, whatever is there in astrology, because I did multiple occult sciences to be able to not just predict what is going to happen, to be able to say how can we get rid of all these things. Of course, you are told that, wear a certain kind of ratna or whatever. But the reality also is that your astrological chart actually shows you the blueprint of how you're going to begin the journey. So these things are laid down. Like, let's say I have to go to the mall, and I decided in the meanwhile I'm going to buy some vegetables and some sweets also. The two things I've decided. But when I go to buy the vegetables, I also realize, oh, let me buy new curtains. Then when I go to the curtains, says, okay, let me buy bed sheets also, stuff like that. So the fact that plan keeps changing, okay. But some things are already planned, which is, the karma which cannot be undone. But most of it can be undone. Most of it can be dealt with. So everything is happening for a reason. So the reason why she was made to, put up with all these, the sense of secrecy was that in a certain lifetime she was a soldier and she saw herself in a tunnel, and in that tunnel she was just hiding herself from the enemies, and she knew that if she made a little movement or a little noise she would be found out. Guess what? She was found out. So that moment wherein she developed that kind of phobia, that that sense of extreme fear, oh my god, if I am discovered, then that has come across, and this was something like 500, 600 years ago she had seen. So, all these extreme emotions tend to be carried through the body, through the bodily energy. And the soul can only work that out, balance that particular karma by taking reincarnations or rebirth, as you say. There are difference, but so everything happens for a reason, whether it's your trauma or it's your judgment. And I would be talking about one of these judgments in the next point, or whether it is. Why is anyone behaving like that with you, or why do you feel like that for someone? It all has a reason. The second thing that I want to talk about is something, uh, I don't know if many people would agree with me or not, but that is what I have realized, and that is what even Dr. Brian Weiss, says, and I feel like an eklavya to him, because he was the first one who instigated that interest in past life regression back in 2006 when I started reading his books. So it was something related to, it's related to, what I'm wanting to say is that there's nothing like gender, community, and things like that. We put ourselves into different boxes. I'm a Hindu, someone is a Muslim, oh, someone is a Christian, I'm a girl, I'm a woman, or things like that. We put ourselves into boxes. Humanity survives on segregations, okay. We like to, there's a poem that I used to teach class 10 students when I was a teacher, which says something like, that you need to give up the entire idea of they. We're all one, okay. So this entire idea, like, I'll give you some examples as well. One of these ladies, and I've had like two three ladies like that, but one of these ladies, like, she could clearly see that. She said before the session she was talking about, I said, no, no, from somewhere the entire issue of Muslim Hindu came up, and she said that these Muslims, this, that, and the other. I said, okay, so have you personally been, what do you say, like, have you ever suffered personally because of some Muslim? And she said, no. So I said, then why do you hold that kind of grudge? So she was not able to explain. And guess what? In a past lifetime, she was a Muslim. In that lifetime, she hated Hindus. And now she is a Hindu and she hates Muslim. And guess what? Like, this is something like I've seen across past life regressions, that when you hate and judge something, a particular community, you may be born in that community in the next lifetime. Like in one of my very, very traumatic lifetimes, for very good reasons, I hated men. And for the next three lifetimes, I was a man. And I was made to understand that there's absolutely nothing wrong with men. I mean, in being in that body, of course, the body has no problems, the society has problems, which you make a choice. Yeah. I'm the mother of two sons, and when I think of boys now, I think that boys are very emotional. But owing to the kind of parenting, owing to the kind of friends, owing to the kind of education that they are given, they become what they become. So that's a choice that they are making every now and then. It depends on the vibrational frequency. What do they choose? Because frankly, a lot of things to destroy men is already available. We think that women are being pulled down, men are being pulled down by unknown dark forces. I believe I'll have to make a video on that as well, about the unknown dark forces. Both the positive as the negative energies lie within us. It is we who decide whether I should go and learn something new with the same gadget, or I should go and watch porn, or I should waste my time on gaming all the time, or I should do this and I should do that. So it's all up to us. And when we judge, I remember this lady telling me that, oh my God, my son spends like 6 hours on gaming. The same lady, the son, in front of the lady says, "Ki, ma'am, you don't know. My mother is on the phone the whole day, literally whole day." So even though she's not gaming, she's still on the device and she's not doing anything like really productive on the device. We tend to judge others. So the fact that, coming back, gender, community, these things mean nothing. We are just taking different kinds of associations in different lifetimes to be able to get a certain lesson handy, okay? And which may be possible after becoming a man, which may be possible after becoming a woman. The third very, very profound lesson that I got of my life and even my clients is that so many of the blocks come from, the past life. Not one, but multiple blocks of my lifetime in the present life have come from a lifetime that I led. If you, even though I don't believe time is linear, but because our bodies can only live in the 3D, so we can face one reality at one time. So according to that, this is a lifetime which happened 200 years ago. I was a sick man and I had renounced the world. And I renounced the world because in a lifetime prior to that, I had faced a very huge trauma. So I had renounced the world. I had a very beautiful wife. I left the wife and I lived in a very abundant family. I left everything because I could not understand the worldly order. And that was something that I was about to do in this lifetime before, and very smartly God gave me two kids. You cannot renounce the world. You got to do work here. You've come here not to renounce the world. Okay, imagine you go to a place and this I renounce this place. No, you got to do work here. We all are here to learn something and to teach what we have learned to others as well. So in that lifetime, I renounced everything because I was too much in pain. And I also realized that, a very, very big thing I realized in that lifetime, because when I was in deeply into hypnosis, and so my mentor who was regressing me, she asked me that, what can you see, Arunima, like, what kind of practices is this man doing, like, you in that lifetime. And I realized I was doing some very, very ancient practice, okay. And even though it was just 200 plus years ago, it was a very, very ancient practice of some kind of meditation which actually took me into the past life. So becoming a past life regression therapist in this lifetime and regressing others and regressing myself is nothing new to my soul, right? So I was doing a meditation in which I visited my past lifetime and I was trying to get rid of that trauma. So the fact that, these blocks, financial block, relationship block, all these things, there are so many things I suffered in this lifetime, which I think to quite an extent I have been able to heal, are because of, that lifetime I renounced it. Sometimes there are curses, okay. Sometimes there are vows you take. I'm not never going to do things, and so all these things, that is why we say release all the curses. There are courses on that. And they come from the past lives. Blocks come from the past life. It may be a fear, like some people who fear, like in one of the lifetimes I died being burnt, okay. So I had this entire smell thing, okay. And I know of people who have died in fire, like on my own clients, or who have died after drowning and stuff like that, and they literally fear water or fear fire. But the good thing is that once they've seen it already there, that fear is alleviated. Of course it requires some healing after that as well, but the fear is alleviated, okay. Because phobias, I'm talking about the phobias are absolutely, you don't know the reason why. Whenever you're not able to explain it according to this lifetime, it doesn't work in the inner child healing also, then you know very clearly that it's actually from the past life. The next profound lesson that I learned is, that's something that, very close to my heart, and I've always felt that it's about revenge and forgiveness. um, I always had this major question throughout my lifetime: is revenge fine? Or, like, let's say someone insults you, should you answer back? A lot of people have these questions. Like, I, frankly, right now also, I'm like very curious about many other things, but I have seen people have these questions and I really want to answer them, right? What if a person is like really torturing you? What should you do? You should torture them back. If you go according to Bollywood movies, you will have to torture them back also, and you'll get the opportunity to torture them back. But most of the times, when I saw that it's a part of the past life, and even in Bhagavad Gita, what Lord Krishna says, I've had at least 7 to 8 women facing the same situation. Like people who have maybe the part of something like a rape or some kind of extreme torture that they have undergone in past lives. Those people who were involved in that traumatic incidents, you know, they have transformed into their present lifetime family members. Yes, as worse as anything that you could have expected. And what should you be doing after that? Some of these people, when they connected with the soul, they actually said, I'm born here to take revenge. I'm here to clear my karma. So, and most of these ladies are all, they all really love Lord Krishna so much. And because I'm not just a therapist, I'm also a healer. And that is how I do this. And I'm supposed to be healing it. So at that point of time, I remind them of what Lord Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. Surrender it to the God. Okay. Take the appropriate action for your soul and forgive them. Forgive them. Now, I'm not trying to say that someone who's torturing you right now, let's say your husband is torturing you, and you forgive that husband. You be with that husband the whole lifetime taking more torture. I'm not trying to say that. If you are in a torturous situation, if you're facing abuse, leave that person right then. Fight your case. I'm talking about a past life scenario. However, you should not hold a grudge in the heart. Now, everyone will say, Arunima, how will we not hold a grudge? What I'm trying to say is it's like a knife from both the sides, okay? And it's not like it's just hurting them, it's hurting you much more. When you hate someone, you're actually taking a part away from yourself. So, this entire idea of hating someone else is like focusing on those people. The opposite of love is not hatred, the opposite of love is being indifferent. You don't care. So the entire idea that you need to be in a situation that you don't have to interact with them anymore. Okay, that's what I believe it is, and you must forgive them. There are processes, obviously, but you need to deal with it and you need to heal it, and then only you will be in a proper situation to be able to say, "I forgive you." But you need to start saying that. Even in Bhagavad Gita, when when Draupadi underwent that traumatic incident, she was not ready to talk to anyone, and Lord Krishna was the only person who was allowed in her room. And he said, do you really want them to suffer? She said, yes, I want them to suffer. Why did this happen with me? Why did this happen to me only? What were my karma? He said, no, this was not because of your karma, but it was because of their karma. And then she said, no, I really want revenge. So he said, if you want revenge, then forgive them. Forgive them, because when you forgive and you surrender to the Lord, then it will be in the court of God, and God will, give them the right lessons. You will be free, and that is what she ultimately does. And that is how, if she would not have done that, then they would have kept suffering. Okay, and she would have made the enemies, like, the Kauravas, even more powerful, because she was also suffering, but she was not suffering. And the last thing that I really want to talk about is like something very important. In all these books that we read, related to past life regression or past lives and stuff like that, we generally talk about soulmates. But a very major chunk of our lives, major chunk of those people whom we know are all karmics. They're all karmic connections. Now, what is karmic and what is soulmate? When you, let's say you take a metro journey or a bus journey, you meet people. With some of them, you're able to have a good conversation. With some of them, you're not going to have a good conversation. Let's say you wanted to sit down, you were very tired, and another person came and just sat in front of you, or took away your seat, or something like that. So, that kind of a negativity which is developed is between the karmics, and it only grows over times. It grows further and further over time. And it requires a lot of healing to be able to, you know, disconnect with these karmic connections. And all those people with whom you had a nice chat or you had a good conversation, whatever, like, you enjoyed your time, are your soulmates. Okay, so when you meet these people, they are there to give you positivity. Okay, but they are not there for your spiritual progress. Your spiritual progress is only taken care by your twin flame. Yes, that's a term I'll keep coming back to. Twin flame comes to you at a point of time when you really need to look at the mirror and see how many mistakes you've made. That's definitely at a level where the soul has matured. And twin flames are generally those people, you cannot look at marriage with a twin flame as the ultimate aim. You may want to get married, I'll keep saying that forever. And so some twin flames will land, marrying each other. I'm not trying to deny that no twin flames can get married. What I'm trying to say is, twin flame is you yourself, okay, in another body. And that is why the kind of love that you have for that person is totally unconditional. You may be angry on that person, but you can never have grudges against that person so much, okay. And it's better not to have, like, not to, oh, he is the reason why we're not together and stuff like that. Just see what you're feeling for your twin flame, because that's exactly what you're doing with yourself. If you feel he disrespects you, you disrespect yourself. And that is how he comes to show you the mirror, because the soul cannot be seen in any other mirror. He's a reflection. Just look at him and what do you feel about him or her, whatever. That's the exact lesson that you need at that point of time. Twin flames come to disrupt your life, the entire, your job, your career, your partner, your everything, and your entire attitude towards life. There may be some traumas that he's going to unearth in your life. Oh God, why am I not able to do this? You get back to a past life and you come to know because of this. You start healing yourself. That is the entire reason why the twin flame is there. The twin flame may stay with you, may come back, and you may have actually, you may enter into a marital bliss, or the twin flame may have just come to show you the reality and never come back. So it all depends on what the soul's plan is, what you prefer, and stuff like that. So, and the entire idea of all these connections is to be able to sail through. Like, what I realized in these days, in this entire year of doing past life regressions, was that earth is a school. And that's something that I've also heard in number of, because of so many courses and so many books I've read. So earth is one of the most difficult schools, I believe. And when you come here, it takes a long time to learn the lessons and go back, because that is why you are taking birth for so many thousands and lakhs of years, and you're still learning and learning. However, what happens in the process of learning, you also attach with negativity, which you clearly need to detach with. And along with learning the lessons, the detachment from the negativities is what takes you towards enlightenment. That is why people talk about decluttering. Enlightenment is that process. All the souls are able to, become wise. But, awakening starts happening when you have become wise enough, you've learned the lessons. Now your ascension is like getting rid of all these layers which you do not require. It is like the layers of the onion, as many people, spiritualists, talk about. These are my profound lessons. If you are interested in knowing more about past lives, you can always connect with me. I do past life regression therapy as well. And you can always connect with me for any other questions. Thank you so much. I hope you liked my video. If you do like the content, please like the video and share it with others who need it. And please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Signing off, Arunima.